You know, a lot of opinions on all sides of this debate. Let's head back to Washington now and talk with one of the people who attended today's conservative rally outside the Capitol. His name is Al Gerhardt. He organized a group from Oklahoma that attended today's rally. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Good to see you.
Well, hello, Don.
How was your day?
Oh, we were happy. We were blown away by how many people showed up.
Yeah. How many people did show up? Did anyone give you a count? We said tens of thousands. It looks like the mall was packed.
I heard one of the organizers say between 1.2 and 1.5, but we don't have that official. And honestly, you can't see all the crowds, so who knows?
Yeah. So listen, I was talking to our all-platform journalist who's been traveling across the country, going to many town halls and many meetings and gatherings like this one, none quite as big as this one. But he says, you know, on stage you hear a lot of people talking about, you know, the kind of reform that they want, but then off stage it seems to have taken a darker tone. Explain what he means by that, and do you agree with that assessment?
I think people are scared, and I think it's showing through. And I think there's some wild rumors out there that people tend to believe from the lack of information from the president and from Congress.
People are scared. Scared of what?
They're afraid of where our society is going. Are we sliding into socialism? Is our country going to be as good of a shape for our kids as it was when we grew up?
What does that mean? Are we sliding into socialism?
Well, you've got government motors now. You've got GM taking over. You've got the insurance companies and the bank companies that are being helped out. That's unprecedented in our nation's history, and we don't know where it's leading to.
Now, you think most of the people there realize that when you talk about socialism, you're really talking about a different type government? I mean, you know, we live in a democracy. Most people who have lived or live in socialist societies, that's their government. But we have we have capitalism here, a democracy. So how is that? I'm not exactly sure how that's socialism. I want to.
Well, I think I need to correct you on one point. We do not live in a democracy. We live in a republic. And what happened to our country is at one point our senators started to become publicly elected instead of serving the interests of the states. Mm-hmm. And that's what's changed, and that's what's allowed us to get into the point where the politicians have to pander for the votes. And when we say it's sliding into socialism, it's because they want the government to take over things that are personal responsibilities. Mm-hmm. Health care, for instance. It's not the government's job to provide me with health care. I love my health care.
So it's not the government's job to provide you with health care, but what about people who can't afford it, or the disenfranchised who don't have the means to get health care? What about other people and not just yourself?
I look at this debate as this debate is not about insurance. It's more about control. Mm-hmm. Those people that you can't say that no one has got health care here in America. The poorest of our poor can go to an emergency room with a stubbed toe and get seen, and the taxpayer pays for it. Or the people like me that pay health insurance pay for it. Everybody gets health care here in America.
Mm-hmm. You bring up that's a very good point. What do you think the people there want to get accomplished? Because to get that many people, Mr. Gerhardt, to show up on the mall on a Saturday, there's got to be some passion behind it. So what comes out of this passion? What's the solution here? That's
a great question. What we want is to get back to the way our country was 100 years ago. There are 18 enumerated powers in the Constitution, things that the federal government are supposed to be responsible for. A strong military, they call them post roads, but roads. Setting tariffs, setting foreign trade, setting treaties. We want the federal government to get back to that. And we do need health reform. Health insurance companies need to be taken to task, and there's got to be some changes, but it's got to be done at the state level. It is not the federal's responsibility to take care of this for us.
And we have to do it amicably. We have to listen to each other and not yell. Don't you agree?
Well, we have to listen, but whenever the other side is not listening, we are going to yell.
Okay. Al Gerhardt, thank you,
Yes, sir.
From Oklahoma.